Fraction Seesaw is a 2 to 4 player game. To play, you will need a set of fraction tiles. You'll also need some creativity to build the fulcrum in the middle. To do this, you can grab a whole bunch of 20th tiles and put them under the 1, which you can use as a seesaw. If you did that, it would look like this. Now that seesaw is pretty stable. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can turn an eraser on its side, like that. Or if you want to make it really hard, you can put the 20th tiles out like this, put a pen in between, make sure your pen's got some flat edges like a hexagon or octagon, and then you put your 1 tile on the top like this. If you do that, you can see it's a bit more unstable. To play this game, 2 players or 4 players would compete against each other. One would be unbalancing the seesaw and the other person would have to write what the other person has done. So for example, if on this side I put down a 10th, so I'm the person unbalancing the seesaw, the 10th's gone there, I had to place it down, I couldn't slide it up and down to guess, what it would do. The next person has to balance out what I've done, but they have to choose a different tile than I've chosen to do so. So they might choose a 5th, which is twice as big as this, so they might put it a bit further in on the seesaw. And if it overbalances, then we swap roles, and then I can score points by balancing what this person's done. So they haven't got it right at the moment, so we'd start again. And now it's my turn to balance out what this person's done. So they might choose an 8th here and put it near the middle of the seesaw. I might choose a 20th and put it out here. And I would call that balanced. Nothing's touching the ground. And so I would score 1 point over here for balancing out what this person's done. And because I've balanced it, the game continues. So now they might make it a bit harder. They'll put a 1/4 here. And I might choose a 5th and put it a little bit further along and see if that balances it out too. And again, I would call that just about balanced. If I was being harsh, I'd say not. And now this person might try to put a 1/2 on the very edge. Now you can't do this. You can't make it impossible for the other person to balance out what you've done. So putting a 1/2 on the end, if I've got to choose another thing to put on there, I can't balance it out because there's nothing as big as a 1/2 and there's nothing further away than the end. And also you can't put a 20th just here because I have to choose something bigger than a 20th, and the best I can do is put it right next to there. So that's actually balanced out our seesaw, funnily enough. So that's how you play that game. The idea is to just balance out what the other person has done by comparing fractions on a seesaw.